Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The Hurricane Watch Team is here with your latest update on the tropics. Today, we're going to start off by talking about Hurricane Rick. Currently, Hurricane Rick remains a Category 1 hurricane with, I think, winds estimated of 85 miles per hour. But I do want to do a refresh on the Hurricane Center's webpage because it might have strengthened a little bit. Nope, it still remains as an 85 mile per hour Category 1 hurricane. This is what they're saying. Rick inching closer to the coast of Mexico. Tropical storm conditions may reach portions of the coast by this afternoon. So as early as this afternoon is what they're saying. Probably about as soon as 4 p.m. this afternoon Central Time is when they could start to see tropical storm conditions begin to deteriorate and begin to you may see those tropical storm conditions by around 4 o'clock this afternoon. So again, it's moving very, very slow at only 6 miles per hour. That is why they have upped the amount of rain from, they were saying 15 inches, now up to 20 inches. So, 20 inches is still very, very possible. Again, Rick is expected to produce 5 to 10 inches of rain with isolated storm amounts of 20 inches of rain across the coastal sections of the Mexican states of Guerrero and Michoacan through Tuesday. So that's one of the biggest things that I kind of want to put out there because it could be really bad. So again, this is just really where it's at. So the earlier hours of the morning around 7 a.m. Monday is when this could be making landfall here along the coasts of Mexico here. As you can clearly see, I'm going to actually change my color so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Throughout the coasts of Mexico in this entire area. So definitely dealing with tropical storm conditions here in Mexico here very, very shortly. You can see the tropical storm force wind field. And it is a relatively small, compact system in regards of where the tropical storm force winds are at. So it is moving very, very slow at only about 6 miles per hour. So this is the system right here. As you can see, this is probably its peak. They are saying maybe intensifying to maybe 90 miles an hour, but this is where it's at right now, 85 mile per hour Category 1 hurricane. This is the latest satellite imagery of Hurricane Rick. As you can see, there's a lot of convection to the south of the storm, and even some convection to the north of the storm. Lots of heavy rain making its way into here. Look at this. You can just see all this huge amounts of convection making its way. Another rain band moving and developing coming onshore of Mexico, which is going to produce a lot of heavy rain, gusty winds, and certainly flash flooding as possible. But you can really see this. And there's going to be a lot of heavy rain down here as this moves north and approaches the coasts of Mexico. This entire part of the coast of Mexico right here is really going to see tropical storm conditions this afternoon into tonight, and possibly hurricane conditions late tonight, earlier hours of the mornings when we can see those conditions. So again, we are talking about a Category 1 hurricane with winds of estimated around 85 miles per hour still. Aircraft reconnaissance is currently not going into the storm right now at the moment, but we're still going to be looking at and certainly possibly seeing those tropical storm force winds, hurricane conditions. It's going to be bad because it is a slow mover. It is not going to be quickly moving through that area. We still have tropical depression 5 there in the West Pacific with maximum sustained winds of about 30 knots, about 35 miles an hour. The air pressure has actually dropped pretty low for a tropical depression, down to 1,000 millibars. So still a tropical depression. So yes, that's what we're looking at right now with this system. And again, I do want to pull this up because we could be seeing if it comes through here and then intensifies and it does something like this, it could still send out swells towards Japan. Definitely Tokyo, these beaches right through here could really see some of the beaches, coastline I should say, could see some of the biggest impacts since they are sticking out a little bit more. And these are kind of set back away from the front, closest towards the storm. So really a majority of this entire area could see rip currents. Depending on how strong the storm gets, some are saying it may only be, an 80, 90 mile an hour hurricane, but still, rip currents are still going to be a threat. They aren't going to be massive, giant swells that you would see with a much powerful storm, I don't think. Invest 99W, it is developing and intensifying. I do want to go over to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center and talk about what we could be looking at with that system, because it could bring a lot of heavy rain to Vietnam in that region, because that's the area where it's making landfall. Here's a storm right here, and it's moving generally west. I'm going to guess the LLC is right there. And it's going to be moving generally towards the west, something like this. And it's going to definitely be impacting the western, or the eastern portions, the eastern portions of Vietnam there. Again, some of the models are saying 990, 995. So, that's a 50, 60 mile per hour tropical storm there. And it could certainly produce some heavy rain. Heavy rain is going to be a big threat. So, I'm going to see what they're saying. Tropical Depression 25. Look at how big. Oh, it's not that big. Jesus, I over-exaggerated. Look at how big this storm is. You take that and you compare it with, like, Papua New Guinea over here. It's a huge, it's a really big storm. It's like bigger than freaking New Zealand almost. Like, good Lord. But it is a big tropical depression. So, and again, it is going to go in this general direction and kind of curve out to sea along this jet stream, which you can kind of see upper level winds going like this. So it would be sheared off as it does try to intensify. And then it gets pulled off by the upper level winds. There is an area of low pressure actually here in the South Indian Ocean. I'm going to say right here. I don't actually know. But it is expected to go in this general direction, like so. We're gonna have to watch that. That is from Meteo France, so it's something we're gonna have to definitely watch for, because there could certainly be some tropical development in that area. If there is, I will definitely keep everybody updated, and I'll mainly be able to keep people updated on when we do our streams, what's going on in the tropics, do little tropical updates throughout the day. If I'm not able to do a stream, I can still do like little tropical updates via our community, because the community tab opened like today. It literally just opened a few minutes, probably 20, 25, maybe half an hour ago. And I've posted a few things on there already. So I'm going to post more things, talk about what the Hurricane Watch team is thinking about the system in the Mediterranean, which is right here. So we think the low-level center circulation is currently situated roughly right here. But you notice there's this area of low pressure. Now, more data is showing that this is the dominant than this one. Now, the reason we think it's this one is because, and it's not this one, we use weather.us, and it's showing that this system, based on weather observations and weather stations in the region, that it has a minimum air pressure, I think, of 1,008, 1,009 millibars. It has come down from 1,011 millibars in the past several hours. And so that's the area of low pressure that we think it is. But I'm thinking it is possible that this area of low pressure and this area of low pressure could fuse together into one area of low pressure. And so I do think that, you do have some convection. There's a lot of convection over the island over this section of Italy right here. Lots of heavy rain, lots of intensity right there. I'm going to take a look at the radar here so we can talk a little bit about what we were seeing in terms of rain. So certainly quite a lot of rain in this. I'm going to put this into motion due to the past around last 12 hours so you have an idea of what sort of happened there. I'm going to show you what we have seen here in the past 12 hours, because certainly watching, and hopefully this does not become anything catastrophic. Now there will be a lot of rain. In terms of rain development is definitely and most certainly a possibility. So I'm kind of worried. I don't really know specifically what's going to happen with this system, how strong it's going to be, what's the intensity going to be, is it going to be catastrophic, is it not going to be catastrophic, it's one of those things where we got to watch carefully. And so we are seeing two areas of rotation. You can kind of see we were watching it. This almost looks like it's spinning, but it might not be. But there is the area low pressure, does seem to be roughly right here, but there's another area low pressure up here, and I think that they could fuse together in one and try to consolidate and kind of get its act back together, if you know what I mean. You can kind of almost see where you have some winds kind of coming in like this. Certainly you got some winds coming in like this, I think. Definitely something like this, I would say. Now, certainly there's some heavy rain over portions of Italy. I don't know if this is also part of Italy. I'm going to sound so stupid when I say that. It's probably a completely different country. It doesn't say it's not another country because there's not a name over it. It doesn't say Italy over here or another name, so I think it's also part of Italy. So again, certainly something we are closely watching and monitoring because it could be something we have to keep a close eye out on in the future. So if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to go in our chat and ask any questions you have. Wow, that is quite a lot going on. Okay, just as expected, Rick is a Category 1. Sicily is the island. Oh, okay, so Sicily is the island. This is the island of Sicily right here. Okay, great. Great. Martin, don't go here. There's weather. Oh, it's part of France. Okay. Okay, thank you for letting me know. This is part of France. This is Italy. I'm like, oh, it's closer to Italy. It's me part of Italy. I'm not I'm not educated like that. I'm not very smart. But anyway, yes, this is part of France right here. So we are watching this system. It's very, very hard because it's like, is it over here? Because it looks like it's a tighter center circulation. Looks like the winds are very, very tight. And what I mean by that is, you see how loose this circulation is? But look how tight and much smaller this is. What I mean is there's, it's more rounded. This is more elongated to the right. But this is more tighter. In terms of wind speed, I kind of want to show you what we're looking at here. Now, I'm looking at Weather US observations and Italy radar because now this can be very, very confusing to understand because look at this. We're seeing winds of over 30 miles per hour and these storms coming off some of these areas. I mean, look at that, 36, 34. We're seeing winds. They're not obviously horribly strong, but we're seeing 30 mile per hour sustained winds according to this. So I'm going to go to the Weather US and sort of talk about this system in a little bit more detail. I'm going to kind of like talk about the radar and stuff like that. So, okay, so I'm going to look at Weather US observations right now because we really need a radar, precipitation. Or is it weather observations? It's probably weather observations. I want to know the wind direction first of all, because I'm kind of curious. Don't say it. Don't say it. Okay, good. I was about to be so pissed if I couldn't. So as you can kind of see here, we do have winds coming in this direction, and this direction. Okay, we do have winds here that are coming from over here, but we don't know if there's winds coming in this direction. But we also are seeing winds coming in this direction. So this sort of tells me there's an LLC right here, and there's a possibility there's another area of low pressure right here. But we can't confirm that because it doesn't show it. But we are very, very positive there's definitely an LLC right here. We're very, very positive about that, and that's why there's more things to back up that there's an area of low pressure to the southwest of I'm just gonna say to the west of that island of Italy, to the north and to the west of Malta. That is what we generally are thinking right now. That's what we're seeing. That's what we think. Because that is really what we're really starting to see. So I want to take a look at humidity, snow, water. So I want to take a look at the wind speeds. These are the 10-minute averages in terms of wind speeds. Oh my god, I hate this. It keeps going back and changes on me. shit. Shoot. Wow, would you look at that? 40-mile-per-hour winds. Wow, that's pretty strong. So, if I'm correct, there are winds. There's an LLC here. And so you're seeing 16-mile-per-hour winds. We're seeing winds as high as 39 and 32 miles per hour here. We're seeing winds probably coming in this direction at around 40 miles per hour, as you can see right there. So this is kind of telling us, this is sort of what we're looking at in terms of what we're observing. Now, when gusts are going to be a little bit stronger, we're going to see winds probably gusting above 40, I would assume. I don't actually know. Oh, that's why I keep clicking on that. Okay, these are gusts in terms of the last hour. Let's take a look at all. Wow, would you look at that? 55-mile-per-hour wind gust reported right here. So the winds are gusting pretty strong there in Italy, as high as 55 miles per hour. Now, I want to take a look. Switch to radio zone. So these are currently main. Alright, I want to take a look at weather reports. Man, there's nothing down here in Italy. Absolutely nothing. About gusts. Nothing. Excuse me, how about air pressure? Okay, so these are definitely mountains here. Obviously, we're not seeing an air pressure of freaking 939 millibars because there's definitely mountains here, and so that's probably what they're showing. There's lots of mountains, so there's big mountains in Italy, and so therefore the air pressure is going to be much lower because it's at a higher altitude. But right along the coast is where you're going to find the most accurate air pressure readings. I mean, look at this. Now, 1,003, there could be a bit of a hill right there. 1,014. It's very, very difficult to actually find exactly what the air pressure is at what point in time. Freaking 898. It's way up there. It's a mountain for sure. They're pretty high up there for sure. Click on sea level pressure. Oh, sea level pressure. Okay. Alright, let's see what we got here. We got nothing. Okay, how about this one? Why is my computer glitching on me? Ooh, okay, so 1,012. We're seeing air pressure down to about 1,012 down here, 1,013. I don't know what it is up here. I would like to know if the air pressure is right there. That'd be very, very helpful. We're seeing 1,017. Most of this air pressure here is pretty high. And so not very, very low. We're seeing 1,012 millibars there. Oh, QFF. Oh, okay. I clicked on the wrong one again. Okay, 1,011 millibars does appear to be. Oh, without okay. So that does appear to be the lowest air pressure. How about this? 1,011. We're not seeing anything supporting a tropical storm in terms of air pressure. Nothing is supporting tropical storm status, which is good. As you can see right here, we see here. This was reported at 1 p.m. We were reporting 1,010.9 millibars right here at this one location. So that's getting down there. This right here is showing 1,011.3 millibars. This right here, 1,013.2. You can kind of see it has dropped. It did drop down to about 1,011, but it is going back up. This could be the motion of the storm. 1,011.3. So again, some of this air pressure is a little bit more difficult to understand. 1,011.9. So this is the air pressure that we're seeing right here. 1011, 1010.9. Go to Italy radar. Okay. We're gonna go radar. Satellite. Radar and lightning. Where do I go to Italy radar? I mean, you have a radar. Oh, click on maybe all. Go to it.
Finished doing your stream?
No, Mom.
Okay, well, come in when you're ready.
Alright, let me close the door.
No, you don't have to close the door. Just do that.
Just to keep this sound minimal. That's what I want to do. Close the door in the first place. Okay, I gotta figure out where the radar is. So I'm just gonna figure this out and not spend too much more time on this. I mean, I'm gonna spend time on it, don't get me wrong. So this is for the United States. This is precipitation. This is radar in other countries. So I don't... Wait, go to Switzerland radar and then Italy. Okay. Was that? I thought I heard something. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we... Okay, what's just 1 hour like? I'm not seeing any kind of rotation. If we start to see rotation, that is a sign of tropical, wind regions. I don't freaking know. I think it'd be Sicily, right? Wow. Okay. 1024. That's quite... So it looks like, because I don't see... I mean, we can't see anything out here, because it does look like... So we think the LLC could possibly be somewhere out here, and possibly another one out here. I'm just going to put a question mark, because we don't know exactly how strong that one is. This one, definitely... I mean, if the radar is going in this general direction, or like this... God, my computer is glitching on me. Then that would definitely be a sign that there could be some tropical development. Oh my God, what? I'm in the middle of the stream. What'd you say, Jeff? Okay. Okay, once this gets done loading, I want to figure out, is this radar rotating around an LLC? A low-level circulation, center of circulation, a low-level circulation. If it is, that could certainly be, development. But, I mean, I'm not seeing... Holy shit. Look at that. Look at this. Looks to be rotating like this. You see what I'm saying? So you can kind of see the radar is moving like this. And then you can kind of see it moving like this. So there could potentially be something that's rotating around, which could be an area of low pressure. For this, could possibly be something. I don't know. Now with this, I don't see these storms are moving in this general direction. And the low level pressures right here, they would have to be moving like... Fucking thing is glitching. This is so hard. my mouse like glitches, and so when I try to draw stuff, like it just goes all over the place, and it can be annoying. That's what we're looking at with that. So, I mean, it's certainly something hard to look at and to even generally understand what's happening here and stuff. Because, I mean, even here you can kind of see the radar is moving around what looks to be a center of circulation. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that, do I need to... Can I... So that's what I'm seeing. This is spinning around something. So that could be a sign that it is spinning around an area of low pressure, but there is, again, we do have to watch for the heavy rain because there does appear to be a lot of heavy rain over this portion of Sicily, and then this is moving inland like this. You can speed the radar up. That's true, I can. I guess I should do that, huh? You see what I mean? It looks like it's rotating. You see this? There's like these little vortices. See, there's like this vortice right up there. You can kind of see like these little vortices in the radar. You see there's this one spinning, and then there's this thing up here that's spinning right off the coast. Now, God forbid that becomes a tornado. Oh my God, that would make, wow, that'd be scary. So I'm going to go and look at actual satellite imagery, so we have an idea of what we're looking at here in terms of what we could be dealing with in this region. So because it can be very difficult because we have to know exactly what's rotating. Is there dry air? Now, clearly you can kind of see there are these little pockets of dry air. There's dry air that's trying to come in here from North Africa, from the Saharan Desert. But generally, now over Greece, it's generally moist. Over majority of Italy, it's moist. I swear it's rotating. Am I crazy? Like, is that not rotating, man? Look at this. This is generally moving in this direction. Then you have some coming in this direction. And then you have this going in this direction. Meaning the LLC should be somewhere right here. Am I right? That's where the LLC is, because that's where the clouds are spinning around an area of low pressure. So that should be exactly where the LLC is between Italy and Tunisia. Alright, we're going to do 10 hours, alright? Because I swear that is what I'm seeing. I am seeing clouds here. The area low pressure, I think, is like right here. I see this is coming in here. We have this coming in like this. We have this coming in from the north. And we have this coming in here. Which would mean that should be where the area low pressure is. So that is another reason why I think this is the dominant area low pressure. Not whatever this over here is. So that is my thinking of this. Now look at the convection. That's something else I'm going to point out. Look at this convection. It's been pretty consistent. Bro, I can't believe we are actually able to do up to like over 20 hours of radar. So that is actually what I'm thinking is going to happen. Like, so first of all, the first thing I want to look at is how high are these cloud tops. Okay, these cloud tops are generally pretty darn high. We're talking about negative 70, almost negative 80 degrees centigrade cloud tops. Look at that. Over here, it's not so mad. Over here, it's like really low. Cloud tops are not even considered high. Here, some cloud tops. Go 40, 60, 28. But up here, I mean, it is really, really low in terms of what we're seeing here with air pressure. I mean, with would you look at that? So, this is from the. Give me English. I must have English. Bro, seriously? I clicked on English and it took me out of where I was. Oh, there we go. Here we go. So these are weather maps. So this is the first one I want to take a look at. So there are 2 areas of low pressure. So we were indeed correct about that. There's actually 3 areas of low pressure. There's one over northern Tunisia, and then the 2 main areas of low pressure that we were talking about. So they almost look like little frontal boundaries here. But if they actually do something, I think it could develop into something. Generally, overall. That's my opinion. That's my thoughts on this. So we're about to find out what is going to go on with this storm. I think it is rotating around an area of low pressure, roughly right here. You can kind of see that convection blows up. Then it just starts spinning. Look at that. Look how it just starts spinning over. Boom. It looks like the actual area of low pressure could be right here. Look at that. See how it comes? And then it begins to turn inward in this direction. Because you do have this dry air trying to choke it off. But it comes in and turns like this. But there's still this dry air coming in from the Saharan desert. It gets closed. It's trying to close off. There's this upper level winds coming through here, which is moving off to the north and to the east. But that is what we're looking at in the Mediterranean Sea. And that is something I am certainly concerned about in terms of what we can be looking at with this tropical system here in the next several days. What do y'all think about that satellite imagery? I mean, I think that looks pretty darn impressive in terms of what we could be seeing if this does become something tropical. Because there's a lot of convection in that, in my opinion. There's a lot of energy there, too. So there you can kind of see it does come off the northern coast of Tunisia. Or the, well, I guess the eastern coast. Right there. He said you can change the time of the KNMI charts. Yes, I see that. I see that. I want to make one see. So if we come back here, you can kind of see there's this area of low pressure right here. Come back another several hours. So it's just been, you know, kind of dancing around there. So I certainly think there is something going on down here, and I think that could be something we need to watch out for and closely monitor here in the next several days. So there's this area of low pressure rotating, and it is just pretty darn incredible. Does anyone have any more comments, questions, or concerns? I have lunch I gotta eat. And again, we will be doing more posts on community, and I have to go eat lunch. So guys, take care, y'all. Glad to have you all in the stream today. As always, have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. And we will talk to you guys later this afternoon at about 4 p.m. Central Time. With all that being said, have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Don't forget to like this video. Peace out.